Hey everyone, I want to include you in my latest flow to do with spiritual flow, acknowledgement of what's going on in my spiritual observation of balance. So here's a question for you. Are you hiding any part of you? Because the subject is authenticity. And all too often in this world, we will hold back our self, and we all know what our self is. There's this inner voice resonance. And no, it doesn't rise up to our ear and say something in a human language, because it's our inner resonance trying to keep us honest to it. So the difference is, it is who we are. Like, it is our soul and spirit combined. So spirit is what it is, like the creation of it, the vehicle and vessel, one with the soul information of who we are. So it's there, let's just say it's there on its own. But to be in this world, part of this spiritual design vessel is that I'm called this name upon birth. I'm born with a body, and just like everyone else, I have access to developing this human through mind awareness, feeling the emotions, and we're all the same in that respect, that we have those vehicles and we're all at different levels of consciousness, understanding what our vessel is all about. And so there is this constant energy of the soul has arrived on earth. Okay, so the baby can't speak, just like the soul. It doesn't speak in human language. So as the human personality grows, this part of the vessel that has to face the exterior world, be this cute little baby and learn to be in this world, the soul is right there, but dependent on the exterior, whether the personality facing the world faces more of the world, or acknowledges the quieter and builds the stronger connection for this inner resonance. So sometimes the world can feel like it comes at you certain ways and you adapt. And sometimes this is all part of the challenge of being in the human, the planet, the vessel, the whole life experience where everyone's embodies, so that the soul can grow through the challenge and the human goes within to support more, and the soul, which is going to stay of a higher vibration. But when it doesn't get to live through the human, there will be signs that there will be signs that will show in the human that discontent could cover it. When a human is discontent, various things are going on. And I mean a lifestyle. Feeling discontent. So it's time to let go of the human when the human's feeling discontent. Because the human has gone about the journey piling in mentally, emotionally, and creating structure out of it. And a clear way to see this, if there's, right now on earth, we really don't have the language to speak about this. Like, we really don't have the dialogue, the communication to understand that our personality doesn't communicate with the inner world or recognize how it does. So we are naturally kind of falling into the awareness of it because there's more light shifts from a lot of us who came here wanting to understand fully. Part of our sacred contracts, all of us, if we go through our challenges and rise up, it means we have discovered a part of ourselves that was interior to keep going. So it's good to acknowledge that when you've made it through challenges, and yes, you probably had, not everybody, but a little bit of help on the outside, one person or several people assist, that you stayed afloat and didn't go, into a challenge, get lost in it, and stay at lower vibrations, but went through the mix of vibrations of emotions, the different mind thoughts, and found a steady peace and ease with the letting go of what isn't true or what isn't necessary for your unique soul to come back afloat with in realization. So it could have been help from the outside, or you discovered it on your own. Either way, it's an inner keep going. It's an inner, this outside world doesn't match. I've been through a challenge or a breakdown of this or that. The outside world, I just need to clear my energy again because Matthias De Stefano is still doing his hiding. And this is one of the biggest examples of hiding from your own authenticity, because when someone falls into themselves, right? When things get shifted in the exterior world on you, and you either have to keep going or you're going to go backward. And backward don't feel good no more. So right now I need to clear I work with the light when I request this. I need to clear all connection between me and the light and electricity of the phone, all the waves, and any means of hot or cold manipulation via Matthias De Stefano, as he restricts my toes with cold from his circulation in my field, and stuffs around with all crackly sounds, mucking around with flow and temperature. I want it all cleared. So that when we come back up from a challenge, we've learnt something about ourselves. Now this is rich, raw gems of the earth support. Now that's what it feels like. And essentially that is what it is. We are so loved. So when we go down, if we rest a little, listen a little, go through the emotion, release some emotion, all of it, whatever, but just whatever the challenge is, and actually go through that process of recalibration with Mother Earth by release, and then have this fresh flow come through us. Because we know when we cry or when we release an emotion, it's a good thing because we've got it out of our field, our vessel, our circulation of energy. We need to just acknowledge that that's a good thing. That's an actual natural cycle. And we get back up even when we don't feel like we've got a full tank in us. That's a good thing. So it's like climbing the next few steps of a trek. What do you have to do next? You have to take care of your physical vessel and really acknowledge that. Just take care of yourself, like rebirth, learning again that each time you get back up, yeah, I have to do these things. But why I'm saying this is because you're taking your whole self on this journey. It is never an empty vessel and the world has to fill it. Like the same old story routine that says, I have nothing to give and the world doesn't make me feel better. This is a story I feel is happening from someone who really hasn't known that he's worthy of himself. Like, we are not our exterior identities. You can see them, but that's not what we are. You could say it's what we are because it's our emanation coming through of our source reality, of our soul source reality. But to what extent is my point? And this is a real thing. Because when people feel like they're pushed down from the world, they feel like an empty shell, just becoming what the world wants, so they don't have to deal with any more emotion in them. But we have to get back up after we've been pushed down and not feel so weak or innocent, like, what's the word? Fragile kind of innocence. Like the world can just tell me what to do and that's who I am now. If you get into that state, then you really need a hand. Because someone's got to remind you that you mean more to the world being your authentic self. Okay? No one in this world should be made to feel so small or weak that they will just give into the exterior and not even go on the journey of really knowing themselves. And unfortunately, some people are stuck there. And this is all a part of the shift as to why those who have gone through that and they developed a pattern that says, well, I'm not getting what I want like this, so I'll fight the exterior with what I know best, like what I can do. I'll fight the exterior. And so it's essentially that exterior shell coming down and away, and the interior able to feel the light of day. So feel the light, the bright light, day or night. Feel the light. So there are those that will rise out of this, that are meant to. But it would just be good if they could give recognition to that is the process. And fighting anything coming away from their old what they thought was their programming for good. You know, for however long, for a lifetime, for whatever. They just, that's it. That's the way it is. And it's coming away because they have to feel worthy again. They have to rebirth themselves again. They have to begin again. So they have to do everything else that humans do. They can't have this feed from the world that fulfills them anymore. They have to take care of themselves like anyone else getting up from a challenge. If you can remember that for a moment, because I can if I need to, since I'm speaking about it. I remember feeling like I didn't even want to be in the human experience. I didn't have thoughts of leaving the planet. I just didn't want to get up and be in the human experience. I thought, how heavy can this get, you know? When you give what you think is your authentic self, but then something happens and it's like, what's the words? Feels like the world, like a person or an experience or something, didn't appreciate the real you. And you have to stay true to that when the world does that. You just have to stay true to you. So, and you have to accept some higher wisdom, because if you don't, you end up in the same vibration that the situation ended in. You think that's who you are. And I thought to myself, like hell am I going to stay in this feeling where the world feels like the world takes something from you. And for a moment you contemplate it and you say, oh, well, this is, you know, you don't say it, but you think it. Well, this is who I am. If I gave the world all I am and someone treated me like this, then this must be all I am, who they've left me with, these feelings of being alone, not looked at as the true me, like not appreciated for my interior being that I was, you know, offering or giving or presenting or whatever. But we have to like put back up, like Teresa of Avila said, put back up your castle bridge door. So the wording for that, I'm not sure, but your moat. You close off the moat, you bring up your door. And you feel better about yourself. You let it go. Kind of like, you know, the saying water under a bridge or whatever. So you brought up your bridge, you let the water flow, and now You have to take care of yourself. No matter how shit you might feel about what went on, you still have to take care of you, okay? You are a soul to keep going. And for whatever reason, the wise teachings that say, just keep going and all will be, revealed in time. Because if we act as though we're there to let life take us down, then we'll just leave our bridge down and anything can cross and water can flood the bridge. And then what are we left with? We're in like a puddle of water and it'll end up like mud. And you're still going to have to grow out of it. So you kind of say, all right, well, that's enough. That's about as much as the world I can take. Up comes the bridge. And just be at peace. Just love yourself. However long that takes. Just do the right things by yourself. Like, what would I like to treat myself with like taking care of myself, being there for myself. When I have those thoughts about what went on, I've got to be there for myself. So this is like the inner structure growth that feels like you break new ground. Because you really want perhaps that someone else was doing it with you or a part of your world, or you really thought something was going to work and it didn't. And so you have that lingering feeling of that could have been good, or why didn't it last, or anything like this. But it's time for that to go in the waters, off other parts of the lands. It's not yours. It's just not yours. So you are left with you. So you got to love and take care of you. Okay? And that is your castle. And that's connected. That's one with God. And this is where we wake up higher as well in our castle and remember that we are actually heaven on earth. Earth is actually heaven. It's just in a slowed down dimension. And we've got stuck in the mud. Instead of remembering, we're not here forever. And for the moment, this is what our castle looks like. And when we don't have the body anymore, we're going to be like waves of energy back in spirit. Living a different existence without the body. So take care of your body. And bring up the wall when life gets too emotional or too much is coming at you. Now, I mean, take care of yourself. I don't mean block off the world like a lifestyle. I mean, take care of yourself, and then you know when you've rejuvenated. You take care of yourself, you do some spiritual practice, like sit quietly, gaze. Just make sure you eat well, okay? Because we really don't value that as a spiritual practice. But every moment of our lives is spirit. You're taking care of your spiritual vessel so your soul can come through more and you can feel content. And like our card we got yesterday, I think it was, recently, support of the divine. So all still in spirit. No one actually dies. We leave the body, but we don't, as the souls that you experienced on earth are in different form and always contactable. Which is a very important point I'd actually like to make about if anyone's lost anyone, and I mean at any kind of experience on this planet. So from missing persons, loss, and you just don't know any answers, to the various way people have died on this planet. they are always contactable in spirit. So if there's unanswered questions or conversation, you can find a good medium who will assist that communication. Because I do feel that there is a lot of unanswered mental energy that keeps people down rather than living a full life. And that all plays a part, no matter what it is. Like, the biggest thing I'm in realization of with us humans, and I had the fear up until my 20s when I just had enough. And it's to do with, this is all relating, right? This is relating to maintaining ourselves, to keep growing wisely, strongly, who we are authentically. Okay, so anything can go into this kind of topic of conversation. And so I'm realizing that death is the biggest loss mentality. And I mean from scared, fright, fear that the human is living in, because they fear not being on the planet anymore. So you have to come to a higher vibrational term of understanding. So the way you comprehend that if you lived more in appreciation of the experience and not the fear of losing it, you're going to have a different experience. You're going to have an appreciative experience that while I'm here, I'm going to enjoy it because I'm an eternal soul. And that's about all I want to say about it at the moment. Because, yeah, it could fall in all sorts of debate. And that's fine if anyone wants to have a healthy conversation to really open that up. And that's why I am opening it up. That you want to communicate with the other side, you can. If you can't pick up the phone yourself, meaning you take care of yourself, you're raising your vibration, you're opening your mind not to be closed and built in like a block system that can't change, but you are open to the fact that you're a spirit, which is more fluid in nature than what we do on the planet. When we mind construct, everything must stay the same, and then we conglomerate to keep things that way. Spirit is like, keep flexible if things aren't working, you know, but we haven't had that kind of constituents between us to have that, because of all different forceful nature and keep things the same, etc., which is the whole battle between, do I bring out my authentic self because it feels weak when I try and face this world? Well, see, the weak is the illusion part, because the soul and spirit is not weak. This world is opposite to spirit in current functioning. It's mind control, really. So if we rise in the wise, then we're not constricted in the conform to anything at all, that if we look on a very, because we do use time, look on a very short time scale, is that serving everything along the way? And how can we shift, change, adjust, and adapt to make sure flexibly that we can open this up to have more of a better effect? You know, I think you can feel what I'm saying, because it is about taking care of the energetic vessel of all of us so that we can be more like open to growth and flexibility, like an open flower from that healthy vein of heaven to earth, and share ourselves? Or do we tell ourselves, you know, to close up and hide down? So we need strengthening connections with the truth of staying open to life. And yes, like I was saying, sometimes you do need to shut down a little, go within, take care of yourself, but make sure you're bringing that person back out. So in that strengthening, you do want perhaps different family home base or something like that. Like people grow, change, move, etc. Because that inner strengthening, you've still got to be able to go, who on earth can I listen to or be with, or to bring and support, like energetic, even if it's just a little bit, me being me. So, you know, everyone grows, changes, and adapts to this. The soul and the human and the expansion and the sacred path following of guidance and all of this, like when you look at the rainbow of our chakra consciousness, all of this maintaining its health through my awareness, healthy balance, healthy functioning. You know, that just doesn't happen like that. So you think about family and base structure and how you think about your foundations, how you share yourself in relationship with that, how you grow through the solar plexus, change and adapt. And we want to access the upper through these being healthy for continual growth. So our healthy, true expression of ourselves, opening our higher spirit to see, connection, our higher self, and our light of our crown. All beautiful affirmations for the specific design that we're all going to go through. And I just summarized them from bottom to top. And so unfortunately, we can look at this world and see that it's been a top down. So humans have valued like those already in position or those that seem to know a bit more, and it doesn't matter how that trickles down to the foundations of a planet and a planet's runnings. If along the way they decide, well, I've got the power because they think I'm more clever, or I've got the position or the popularity already, etc., it doesn't matter what I do with my consciousness on the way down to being this position in the world. I can manipulate and do whatever I want. So that's why we haven't had these healthy groundings come down on the planet. So we make sure that we are analyzing ourselves healthily from bottom to top, and we stand for it. And that's what we stand for in leadership. That we'll know what someone's giving out to the world, because you could call the earth to the skies the heavens, but it's all heaven because we have the flow come back down. From the earth to the heavens, how someone takes care of themselves, how they function, do they listen to themselves, have they got healthy support systems for growth, are they expressing themselves via giving and receiving easy, does this flow through their expression easy, are they open to change, adaptation and more, right? We can tell a person's doing that by what they manifest back down with that resource they are. So like I was saying, if you got leaders in this world who are standing out at the moment, like my favorite saying, but it's just so horrible what some of them are doing, standing out like dogs' balls, right? No one wants to see anything like that just in their face too much, but that's what the leaders are doing. And yes, you can feel that I have that aggravation in my system because it just is just standing out to us all, and it's just like, ugh. That what they're doing, from having a bit of title or position, or certain population has chosen them to lead because like Trump spouts about money and change and all this and looking good, and he's all a part of community with his cap wearing crowd and everything. Nothing against caps, but so I've got this position, but when it comes to my third eye, all I can see is myself. I'm not actually, in this healthy growth to now access truth for the people, because I can lie at my throat. And so when it comes down to my heart, it's more about looks, the appearance of family or business structure, which has got to do with how I see life. And then at the solar plexus, well, quite unhealthy, staying the same, not much change, always the same lack of integrity in his pitches, sales pitches, just blah, blah, blah. And yeah, so when it gets down around relationships and foundations, that's what we're getting. So, trash, really. That, and all's it is, right? Because I have love for every soul on the planet. Love is not, love is, we're all heaven on earth. Okay, but we get mixed up in life along the way, and we really have to come back to an understanding, a central understanding. And it's not difficult, because we're all of the same design, but we know we're all going to go through our own tapestry creation as a part of it all. So we just go back to the central design of us and say, okay, well, something's probably got to change in these areas of my life. But change hasn't been an easy thing, because we just get up and robotically go on with what's been going on. So, change is a given. Just wish we would realize that. And our flowers are going to leave the earth one day, so I wish we would just accept that and just grow the best we can, functioning consciously of our design and assisting one another. And I can feel, and I hope others can feel as well, and we've all noticed that the flare up of the dead leaves of planets, of people on the planet, well, you could call us planets because we're of the same build as Mother Earth and any of the others. So that's why we all resonate them. It's all energy. we're feeling the drop away, like when a leaf of a stem doesn't want to fall. So you got this dead leaf hanging on. It doesn't want to fall off for new growth. So you can feel that we're definitely growing and we got to let them fall off, but our growth is what helps that. "40 minutes I've been talking, and I think I've got the authenticity point across of its importance. That we are, I want to keep saying the word more centralized and becoming centralized, but it is not of old world. And this is why a lot of the central that we have referred to of our life, right? Of our life. So I'm bringing it home to our design, right? And taking care. And that's the world we create. But the central we've been giving our lives to is outside of us. So yes, we are going to look at money in a very different way. And I can't wait for it to drop away. Because there has been such unhealth and unhappiness and ridiculousness. And what needs to drop away is the attachment we have to having things, okay? And that's not boring, people. What it is have what you need to get by, right? Go with me on this. Have what you need to get by. And then be flexible with whatever else you have. So don't let it become a part of a structural identity. Okay? Because it's easy in this world for the artificial climb, where money becomes how people value their importance. They are money is just a given, right? Like money is like any other attraction. Okay? It just is. You can liken it to how you deal with your taking care of self or not. So put the value on taking care of your consciousness rather than accumulation. So if it has flowed to you easily, okay, be thankful for that. You must have some good flow, taking care of yourself, liberating yourself energetically, taking care of yourself, using your abilities. Great, good. Okay, but you're divine essentially, don't forget it. Your spirit, you're not here forever. So what you have, okay, don't let it start to be a part of like your hip structure. And you can tell this because life can get heavy on you. It can be more ego. It can be more, I've got to be because I have this. You got to let that go. So I'd probably suggest like really just anything to do with being more flexible in your emotions and thought process as to who you are, so that you can really keep the grounding that you're not here forever and there's more of you in joy to be had. Okay, and money is not associated with joy. Yes, you can do a few more extra things, right? But you're here as like an energetic being. It doesn't cost money. You know, and I take it back to another video when I said your parents didn't buy you, so what makes you think, you know, like money keeps you here, money is who you become, you know? So just let it just be. All right, just make sure you got your bases covered, make sure you're helping people if you can. Definitely don't just have money sitting around. Like, help people if you can, because your energy, so if you're helping, right, that's good for your energy, and that comes back. All right, so when we get too stuck, like money is glued to us and that's who we are, think about the difference in energy there. You're not giving to the world, so it's not coming back. And a lot of the time with this structural build of money is who I am, we'll even divide our lives even more, as though some are better than others, and we don't need to help. All right, but that all plays a part in your own energy field, because if you can stay flexible and it isn't my identity, we're going to have a better world. Because it's created a lot of harsh problems, a lot of division, a lot of crap, and it needs to be laid to rest. So just keep in flow, you know? Anything in life, am I liberating or am I divisive in myself? Because it is in yourself. And loosen up, you know? We're not here forever. That's the thing. You're going to have a better life experience if you don't hold on to like, I've got to make sure before I die. You know? No, you don't. Enjoy your life, and these things that you want so much are going to be attracted to you. Okay, it's a high vibrational resonance for the universe to actually get in and deliver things to you, rather than head down, I'm just this, I keep these same vibrations, I might have a bit of joy at the end of the week. That's not going to open you up for the universe to assist your dreams. So you can see what I mean by, if you get this balance, right, and you can give and you'll receive. Okay, dreams can come in, you're almost expecting them. They might even feel like a miracle, but if you get in the flow of give and receive, that's the lands we want to be in for everybody. Because that's essentially who we are. This is liberating. This is liberating who we are. This is our energy field. The heart energy field is so vast as one. All of our hearts and all of the higher powered light beings who aren't living in the lower and slower, but their light assists us, their wisdom assists us, their connection, all of their connection assists us. So really trust that we are being assisted more than what we know. Like, and there's no moment that goes by where they don't know us. And that's oneness, when you can be in that recognition, you know, in that moment. So whoever you might have contact with in the galactic realm, you might not be open to it. Yes, no, maybe, okay, yeah. It could be a journey like that. It doesn't mean that other galactic beings aren't aware of me right now. And that's the oneness eminence of our true reality. So there is like an invisible realm of the whole where we are all connected. And we would like you all to know how loved you are. Look up. Be aware of more. You're all a part of this whole. That we all are. Find peace and tranquility in this beautiful uprising. Heavenly bliss. Allow yourself to feel it. It's very real, not a mind game. You can live it. We're opening. It has been difficult. Let this fall away. You are forward momentum and living a new reality. Allow it to be as high as you can feel. When you feel the allowance of as high as you can go in your being, like a joy state, a flow state of the unreal. This feels unreal. Hold it. And give yourself some moments to allow it to be your real reality. Like your everything, your new reality. You'll feel a shift. It starts to take over your field. It's so quick. And now, expanse of the hips, the ground, your legs can all allow. Where there has been heaviness, we have a new, true wholeness now. So let yourself go to those places that allow flow of all your dream reality. If this happens for a moment, you'll get better at allowing it to happen for a few moments for the shift. Ongoing. And this is who we are. Light and tenor. To the light of all. Bring in as much as you want. Gifts for everyone. The more you bring in. And let's all sing a note and a breath out. More. It's an opening. There can be more notes if we desire. Feel into them. We've brought the light closer. I have some interference in my breathing with Matthias. Because that could get of a higher, clearer, crisp. Not the wavy that was happening. Because we can reach them. And bring them in. Our connection. Feel into them. Although it was wavy, it was enough. But it's even better when it can get high, pierced like. It's all an instrumental thing. However you tune in. But it is of higher resonance. But make no mistake, tuning can include, and does, all the lower notes as well for planet Earth, for us to ground this beautiful higher reality. So basically it comes from loving yourself. I love to let out the connection with the higher notes that open. And then sometimes they will require balancing depending on what's coming in for me. Balancing for Mother Earth and frequency. And yes, light, love, technology. Because it's all light. And we're here to create well with our light. Our soul. On the beautiful soul of Mother Earth and one with the whole. So loosen up, especially your lower back flow. Expand out of the old. Let the energy of the hips not constrict. Gotta stay, gotta be at the back. Because sometimes the front of us wants to go forward in this flexibility. Our yin and our yang at the back. So get the rest for the yin to go forward. And don't overwork the yang. So rest. Get up in balance. Don't constrict at the back. Meaning perhaps gotta do, gotta be, gotta, because it's restriction. For whatever you gotta keep going, it's restriction. So loosen up. Get your yin rest. Be in balance with soft and some activity. Softness to self, softness of life, and some activity. Just assisting yet again, whatever your thought process is or what feels natural for you to, in your awareness, adapt and bring forth healthily more of your balanced being. Keep giving to life. Don't give too much. Keep in balance for yourself. But there is a give and a receive. Heart expands. New, different. And whatever comes or happens of that. It is an opening. It is not anything else. And the old falls away. You keep opening. You keep liberating your wellness. And you manifest. It's the flow. Heaven to earth. Earth to heaven. Heaven to earth. Liberate. I manifest. But if we're not liberating and we're just stuck in certain things, then we're going to be really structured at the lower body especially. And it'll show with frustration because there's imbalance at the functioning with mind and emotions. Okay. But our true reality is the whole thing in balance. So we assist each other to stay aware of this. and we're flowers. But remember, you're also a flower that says, I need this leaf to fall. I'm going to take a bit of rest to let it fall. Let it go. Oh, and look, here's more new feelings in me. Okay, so I might finish up there, and I'm just reminded of one more thing to mention, that how authentic you can be with your breath. So how in the moment you can realize, as everything I talk about has got to do with the realization of the upper and the lower, the balance of this, and that is, you know, in all directions. So we're spherical in nature, energetically, you know, we're not like really walled off from anything. It's all a mindset taking care of oneself. So the more you can really take time in learning the nourishment of the breath, so you can sit with yourself for periods of time and just really allow it, like medicine, okay? Because it's not only, you're not just breathing, you're actually getting to know your energy field. You're actually loving your energy field. So when it comes to letting go stress, you can rely on it. So you might want to go to quiet, or you might just in the moment want to walk away somewhere and just go. Because what you're doing, or what I am aware of now, is you are trusting that you are more than what's happening right in the moment. So if you start to restrict your breath, you go into something, just remember expanse, okay? Just allow a little expanse. I know it's difficult because we can be drawn into things, but this is the wisening of expanding our beings again, so that we don't just operate on a level or get stuck. So breath can do so much. You become one with your breath, like you love it. It's like a resource of so much more than just air and release of old. I mean, just look at that. How powerful is that? Fresh air, somewhat. For some places in this world, I think of, that where people live. Say a prayer to release it back to love and light if you want. You know, when you release out tension, I'm breathing in love and breathe out pain and return it to love and light. If you want to go so far. If not, then you just really want to let go of the pain, then just declare. Actually let it become one with the breath and breathe it out. Mother Earth will help transform this, and all the other natural cycles assisting us. But mainly, it's so you can get back in flow. And when you're in flow more often, then you're going to pick up bigger flow more often. And that's our soul. It wants that big flow. That's all for now, everybody. I'll see you again soon. Thanks.